Hi, my name is April Hennig, and I'm here today with sacreddrop.com. As you know, it's been a while since I've been on camera, and I apologize for that. But I'm here today to kind of open up a series of tastings every Sunday for the next few months. What we have here to start it off is a Clunia. And this Clunia is actually a Tempranillo 2009, which recently won the Silver Award with the Tempranillos al Mundo 2012 in New York. So, a good friend of mine actually works at Principe de Viana, which is the winery that currently owns this wine as well. Now this wine is not from Navarra, it is actually from the Burgos area, which is also known as the Castilla y León. So, what you see here is the typical label from this area. Now this is different from a typical reserva or crianza. And it doesn't have to be labeled in the green, reds, or whatever colors you see that you see in Rioja, which is really nice because they have a bit more flexibility in how they would like to label their wines, as well as how they would like to elaborate their wines. Now this is again part of Bodegas Principe de Viana, and also another winery that also is part of this family is called Rioja Vega. Sorry about that. So, what we're going to do is try this one, and let me tell you a little bit about the wine itself. Now, it comes from a specific parcel of land that is about 900 meters in altitude. This land itself has a vineyard on it, and in this vineyard where they pick the grapes for this wine, they're all hand-picked. Now, I didn't think that they made much of a difference in terms of the taste of the wine, but I've had a chance to try some of my friends' wines, and I can tell the difference when a wine has been hand-picked and when it hasn't been hand-picked. And I have to say that a lot more flavors for me tend to come forward. Okay, so I'm also trying to open this wine a little bit different from the standard way that most people do. A lot of people like to open the wine from the top here, as you see. But in terms of cleanliness, it's actually better to open on the bottom, though it is a little bit more difficult and you'll have to cut through some of this in order to get to it. So, let's open up this wine. Looks like it has a natural cork in it. Now this is 100% Tempranillo, and it's been aged 12 months in French oak. So this French oak will give it a different flavor from the American oak. But from what I've been reading, it has a little bit of vanilla taste to it, which is very typical of American oak. The previous years included some American oak, so that could also be why. Okay, this is the cork, as you can see. And it's got a lot of color on the cork. Now this is what you would consider like a vino de autor, a special wine, because it isn't part of your typical crianza or reserva. Alright, a lovely drop stopper that I love so much. Now, I'm actually going to aerate this just a little bit. It's got 12 months in barrel, but I may not need it, but since I just opened it, it'll help me really get some more aromas out of this wine. Now, wow, this is a beautiful purple color. I don't know if you can see this very well, but I'll have to use my nose here. This is beautiful, dark purple for 2009. I mean, being that we're in 2011, that's 2 years. So that would be a year in barrel and then another year in the bottle. So let's try this. You know, I don't get too much wood, which is nice. For having 12 months, it must be a very lightly toasted oak. I get raspberries, some strawberries. It's a nice, pleasant wine. It's definitely a wine that I would recommend with food. The tannins aren't too strong. They're definitely there, but they're not overly potent. So you don't feel like that weird taste on the side of your mouth. I actually really like this wine. I've been pleasantly surprised with some of the wines coming out of Castilla y León. They're not an area that most people consider as Spanish areas for wine, but I have tasted some very good wines out of the area. This Clunia, as well as another one here. This is from another winery called Garmendia, which I tasted earlier in another tasting, and these are two very, very good wines. So this region of Castilla y León is really producing some interesting wines. So, I would say I didn't tell you a little bit about the length, which I should, about the tongue. Let me take a swirl. A little bit of chocolate and cherry. It's got good length. I'm still tasting it now. To about here. So, I would recommend this with something heavy with meat. You could even eat this with legumes, beans, which is very typical here in the area. Venison is another good game type of meat. Another type of red meat would go really, really well with this beautifully colored Tempranillo. So cheers to you, and I hope you'll join us for the next few Sunday tastings. Thank you for joining us at sacreddrop.com. See you soon.